Are you pro Will or
Nah.
pro Chris?
Nah, fuck Will Smith. Welcome back to the Insiders Podcast, another episode with myself, Matt Hayes, and the legend that is D-Bro, Daz of Broadbridge. Crazy week. No one can see you right now, but he looks a bit less clean cut and a bit kind of windswept, I would say, after a busy week.
My hair makes me feel like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, mate.
Yeah, I can see it. I'm
gonna kick back into my old tradition that I used to do when I worked as a younger fella at Quicksilver, and I'm going for the mohawk this week. 50-year-old with a mohawk. Lamp.
Perfect for my. I'm going mullet, so I'll post some pictures as well. But I'm going full mullet for my stag, so I'll be with you at the end of the week with a mullet that is.
We're getting ready for Easter. Can you give us and potentially our viewers, I always say viewers because even if they're listeners, they can still be viewers.
They're imagining.
What does it stand for, Easter, officially?
Officially, it's some sort of resurrection of Jesus Christ or something, but stands for like, my outlook on it is kind of...
Is it when he comes out of the cave?
Yeah, when he comes back to life, resurrected, and it's all about like new life and all of that shit where flowers are blooming and
but he was on the cross, and they put him in the tomb, and that's when he come out of the tomb, isn't it?
Apparently so.
And thanks to that, the longest running surf competition potentially in the world started.
Bells.
And
Bells has somewhat had a resurrection because obviously it's been 2 or 3 years because obviously it got dropped essentially because of COVID. So it's back, it's resurrected. Hopefully the swell kind of gets a bit of a resurrection because looking at the charts and what everyone's saying, it's going to be kind of small. And
I think my last check was the pick back up. I haven't checked the swell down here for Easter. What's the swell going to do in your neck of the woods for Easter?
I'll be completely honest. I haven't been looking. I've been looking at down with you because I'm down there. There's a bit on
your trip. Of course, you're looking down here.
There's a bit of swell coming in this week, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's been kind of really clean but small over the weekend. Had a couple of surfs, and then the next couple of days is kind of similar. And then I've stopped looking, and my first day with you looks pretty good. Looks like it's like 3 foot and nice. And then the next day I think it's a little bit bigger, like 4 to 6. So which should be a lot of fun.
Well, today, Matt was, and that's one of the reasons I'm looking a bit rugged. For all the guys there or girls listening that work in seasonal surf jobs, which mine is basically what you could call early spring to late autumn surf camps. It goes from doing what you want when you want to 7 days straight because the water's getting warmer and basically people generally don't go on cold winter surf trips unless they're going to Hawaii and stuff, but it's just let's say that's not the majority of the world's surface because it's just a small island in the middle of nowhere.
But today was cooking, wasn't it? I've seen some pictures of today. And
it was crap, man. It was surf. I surfed lunch and then I surfed tonight. And tonight I saw this right down the beach and I go down to it and it was not that good. There was 5 or 6 Spanish dudes paddling around. It was stiff offshore and this weird little right running into a gutter. So I thought I'd just paddle back to the car park and then I wasn't looking and a set pushed me in. And then I was in knee-deep water and I couldn't even stand still from the sweep and I couldn't get back out. It was only 3 foot because it was a 14-second swell. And I turned around and went in.
That's fun.
Walked up the beach. I haven't done that for a while. Gave up.
anyone who's not been to France gets very, very quickly humbled by the power down there.
I just gave up today. It's like I didn't even have the fight in me to go back out. It was just straight handers out the back anyway. So
The famous straight-handed.
yeah, Saturday, Sunday. There's plenty of swell for your weekend.
Yeah.
It looks like Friday night we don't have any rain. Good.
And then Saturday and Sunday's looking kind of sunny as well.
Yeah, 16 degrees, 16 degrees, 17 degrees. You're gonna stop.
I'm gonna get
That'll be 20 degrees.
Yeah, boy. So obviously last episode we talked about bells and we just had a little introduction. It's the waiting period starts today. I don't think they're going to kick off today, but the waiting period starts.
I went forward yesterday for them because they're already on to the 11th. Don't forget that, mate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So maybe in the next kind of or soon they might make a call for today as well. But
I think that if I can go my clock, and Brisbane's not the same time as Melbourne generally.
Nah.
Let's have a look. World clock times. It's 5:37 in Brisbane, so it's probably
they're daylight saving, don't they? So it's probably an hour ahead, I think, in Melbourne. Maybe
Melbourne's 5:37 as well. So the surfers they're waking up. They're waking up.
So, but one thing we didn't discuss on the last episode, which I've got a slight kind of conspiracy theory about, but we didn't discuss the goat and the fact that
I just feel like he's gone a bit boring since about the pipe win.
What I want to talk to you about the goat is, one, the fact he'll be in Australia, but two, this kind of, so he announced that he had COVID the day after he done the Oscars or BAFTAs or whatever it is where Will Smith slapped the shit out of someone.
We didn't talk about that too. We should briefly touch on that before we get into that. Are you pro Will or pro Chris?
Nah, fuck Will Smith.
Pro, neither of them.
I'm backing Chris Rock.
He actually handled it super well, didn't he?
Yeah. Plus, I'm just saying this. Will Smith has a clear height and weight advantage. And if you walk up to someone, firstly, why'd you slap them? He should have just, if he wanted to, he should have just laid him out. But if you have a free shot on someone and you don't even rock them, like Chris Rock just literally stood there, then you're a melt. So.
Or if you're in the entertainment industry and rolling with 40 million a film, other people get the piss taken out of them. And let's blame the Academy. If Chris Rock is what they say, which is, he's just, you could say a mean comic, don't invite him.
Just anyone who thinks that Chris Rock was in the wrong, go and watch Ricky Gervais's speeches for the last 5 years, because every single joke that Ricky Gervais says is well worse, and no one got up and slapped him. So
we won't waste any more time on that. Kelly.
My conspiracy on Kelly is that
I reckon he didn't even have it.
No, I think he purposely got it. Now, this comes from the fact that if you go back,
so he doesn't need to get a vaccination.
Yeah, Novak Djokovic purposely gave himself COVID in December so that he could land in, because the rules are, if you have it, then you basically get a 3-month pass where you don't need a jab because you're naturally immune or whatever. And the only reason he then didn't get let in the country is because they filled in his paperwork and said he hadn't had COVID when he had. So the Australian government was obviously like, nah, get out. But if Kelly does his paperwork correctly and learns from what Novak done wrong, he could have basically purposely gave himself COVID within the right amount of time to then land in Australia for Bells and for Margaret River and not have to get a vaccine. Or
it's stupid though, because what if you get a rough version of COVID and then you just crook for a couple of weeks?
Or is the only other thing though, Kelly must be vaccinated, and he's been very anti-vax.
Maybe he's triple vaxxed, huh?
I think he's vaccinated. I personally think he's vaccinated because...
For sure, man. He's been doing all that travel and everything.
He's been very careful with his words as well, like where he said, like, he's anti-mandate and like, oh, you should make your own choices, but that doesn't mean his choice is to not get a vaccine or have a vaccine.
I'm going to be unopinionable on this one. This topic has had too much conversation. Let's forget it.
So that's my Kelly conspiracy. If anybody wants to look it up further, then do so. But we're over it.
I reckon you've just had too much time to think, mate. Maybe he's talking to you, because on his Instagram, and I just had a look at it, and his little thing underneath has got what? Matt.
Maybe me and the goat have got a very good close relationship, and I'm kind of airing his secrets.
Goat's best mate, huh?
But yeah,
who's your okay, let's straight to the chase. Who's your pick?
Well, I said last time I picked Felipe and Ethan Ewing. I backed them both. And what we didn't do last time, though, which I think we should do this time, is who do we think is going to flop? 2 people we think, nah, who do you reckon is going to let you down and potentially fall off tour because it's like the cut coming up?
I'm not feeling John.
Oh, big call.
For dodgy, crumbly, weak bells, he's probably going to win it. I don't know why I thought that. I'm just, I wasn't expecting that question. I'm just thinking someone.
It's logical.
When I think of John, I think of premium waves, and it's not looking premium.
See, I'm hugely concerned for Owen Wright.
Oh, I put him in my fantasy surfer team. I just
really?
He's only 3 million. He's only got to get through one heat, mate. I play the odds.
Yeah,
he's only got to get through one heat. He's good at bells. He's good at.
I'd rather
Winky.
Sammy Pupo's the same price, and Sammy Pupo, I'd rather in small weak waves. I'd rather Sammy Pupo than Owen Wright.
Oh, I didn't think of the old Sammy Pupo. We'll have to just go back. It hasn't started.
Trading is still open, but
are you even pumped for this comp? I'm not.
I'm usually really a big Bells fan because I spent quite a bit of time there when I travelled to Australia. The forecast has kind of got me a bit like meh.
See, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm just starting to feel like I'm potentially. Me and Kelly are really similar. I'm 6 months older than him, and I can't even now get excited about a comp if it's just got a crap forecast.
Yeah, I think the forecast has spoiled it a bit, but I do think that the cut coming up. I'm not a fan of the cut. I don't know how you feel about the cut, but I'm not a fan of the cut. But I think with the cut coming up, it will add a bit of excitement and a bit of tension, and stuff could happen because of it. Also, the cut. The mid-year cut.
The cut. You sound like you're putting a P on the end of it, mate. I think you're eating your mustache.
Maybe. It's getting to that length.
I haven't looked at the bottom end to say it is kind of gnarly, isn't it? Just get rid of them that quick.
Yeah, I think it's horseshit. But what I did say, someone who I reckon I don't. You have to be the judge of this. Wild card, or like kind of a bit of an out there call to win it. Is Kolohe, like, is he an obvious pick, or is he like that's an interesting choice?
He could do something.
I reckon he might follow Griff, and California could go back to back. At Winky.
It'd nearly be shocking.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
But it's, it always happens when you wait for like one thing to happen, and then it happens, and then 2 come in a straight, like they say the old analogy about buses or whatever.
But I wasn't waiting for either of them to win. So
yeah.
I'd like to see Ethan win it. I'm telling you.
I'd love to see it.
I think that would revitalise surfing again, because I'm as interested. I'm not even interested one bit in bells, and we'll get to that. But we can keep flacking back to bells. But Torren Martin just dropped another clip maybe in the last week that I saw by accident. And Jesus, man. Hell waves, hell boards, loose as a goose.
He's nuts.
Offshore, 6 foot barrels, no one out. Like, how much more fun is that?
Do you think? I think he might be. There was one point where I thought, oh, maybe he's a bit like he was part of every conversation that people would talk about. You mentioned a twin fin. Someone was mentioning his name. Do you think he's a bit of like an underrated underground absolute hellman? Because he goes on massive.
Yeah, man. Bradley, who's kind of traditionally anti anything that's not shortboard. Yeah, exactly. He's like sending me messages at one stage. Have you seen him? Because he was charging ship sterns, and Christian's obviously Tasmanian, so it must have resonated with him. But for God, man, of course he's a hell charger, and he's like insane at Desert Point and Tabaroo, and he's doing that without a centre fin backhand.
Yeah,
I just think he's one of the most influential surfers in the world, full stop, because you got half of the world who are jocks, and you potentially got both me and you. I've got a shoe on each foot. I like watching the jocks, but I don't care anything about their life one bit, and I prefer to watch him, and probably would be more interested to read an interview with what he's got to say, because that's what the rest of us want to do, isn't it? Go on a surf trip, pumping waves with no one out, and even more importantly, no one judging you.
I think it comes down to, like, you're right with us having feet in either side of it is purely like just being a surf whore that I am. But if Torum was like releasing a film, like doing a kind of live stream new film at the same time as the WSL finals or whatever, I'd be watching him definitely, and I would, like, in my own surfing in conversation.
I don't know about that one, because like basically his stuff goes to video anyway, so I could always watch that later on.
Yeah, but if they said, yeah, but then so does the WSL finals day.
Look at this, man. 2 days ago, it's already had 21,000 views. Go, and if you were bored, you could go and have a look at all these young semi-hot shot jocks who are dropping their YouTube stuff, and they're not getting the same amount of views as that, and their stuff's nowhere near as good as his mate Ishka.
Yeah,
Ishka Folkwell. What a hell name as well.
Yeah, they're good together, and they just produce good shit basically. And
what I'm going to do after I hang up with you tonight is watch Mikey Wright in Ireland and in France, because he was down here, and I was chatting to him like when he was doing that, and I saw him and Kale, and that must have been in the water as well.
It was the week after I was there
at Kunu, and then we had that insane left day, which I told you, me and Fipsy got the day, one of the best days in Hong Kong in the last 10 years at Bourdain's, where it was just the best ever. So I get to see that's one really good thing about surfing. If you've got good surfers come to near your home breaks, is then you can see them in the waves you're surfing yourself. Then they went over the island on a hit run. Yeah,
I met Mikey Wright in the supermarket at Hosogor, the one by the zone, whatever it's called.
Pretty hard to miss, isn't it? The Intermarché.
Yeah, that's it. I saw him in front, and he had just this like mental mullet, and I was like, nah, fuck off, that's Mikey Wright. And then because he had a Quicksilver t-shirt on, and then he like turned around the corner, and then because I was with my missus, and then I started to freak out, and she was like, breathe, and I was like, oh my god, it's Mikey Wright. But and then I saw him surf the next evening. I went to see Jay.
Oh, that's right, because he'd come for a good month, didn't he?
Yeah, I went to see Jay Phipps, and he was like, oh, we're going to the beach by you, Estagno. And he was like, Mikey's out surfing. And boy, the speed that guy travels at is...
He's fast, man. Like, so he cops a bit of flack, but when you actually see him real life, he's phenomenal.
I just want to see him free surf, like
because he's not doing what like other people are doing. That's what I think's good.
His grab rail, like, carve down the face, like the down carve he does when he grabs that rail. Like, I love watching him do that. the way he wipes off the speed, but then it's good surfing, man. It's good surfing.
Hey, so back to your thing that you reckon Owen Wright is better than, but he's not the same value as Sammy Pupo, because Sammy Pupo is 3,750,000 and Owen's only 3. So you've either got Owen or Imakalane DeVault, who I love, but
he's got a better air game than Owen, but
I just don't think he's got the either Tiger Sting to get through. I hope
if they had a heat against each other, so say round 2 it goes Imai Owen, obviously it won't because of seeding, and you had to put money on it, would you put your money on Owen
against if they went head to head?
Yeah, at 4 foot or 3 foot Winky.
Yeah, I think I would put my money on him.
Yeah, I think I'd put my money on Owen because I think he would beat him on experience.
I'm trying to wonder whether I'd take Kelly out of my team or not.
Kelly's in your team?
Yeah, because he's in my team since Pipe.
I'd wipe him straight out. He's not in my team.
Yeah, but who do I pick?
How much is Kelly?
$6.5 million. I take him out. I've got 8 million. No one's 8 million. No one interesting is 8 million that I don't already have, apart from Connor Coffin. He's 9 million, which is pretty boring.
Don't want Connor Coffin.
Switch Leo out for someone who's going to be 7.25. Look, viewers, we're going live on how to pick a fantasy team.
Yeah, can anyone listening message us about?
No. Look, I've got a plan. And you're just going to call me a kook. I take out Leo. Sorry, Leo, which I wanted him in my team. But like you said, you've got Kauli at 7 million that you can put in the team. I'm not going to save it. I'm going to look at the heat draw after this.
But that just made me think of a really cool actual question. Is if you got offered the chance to have Torin on the poddy, which we obviously one day he's going to come begging us to get on here, and we'll have to think about it. Or if John was groveling and saying, "Oh, please."
Okay, hey. We're not going to be ridiculous here. I love Torren, but yeah, we're not going to go picking between John and Torren. At least throw us someone a little bit middle of the range.
All right. So Torren or Seth Moniz.
Torren.
Yeah.
But you said John. We're talking about potentially the greatest surfer. He's the greatest surfer at the moment. He's not better than the GOAT, competitively and everything. But let's talk free surfing.
Yeah, let's
wave performance. John's the best surfer. He's done the best surfing we've ever seen.
I've had this argument with so many people. In my opinion, John Florence is the greatest surfer, all-round surfer that's ever been. And
because he's an extension of Kelly, isn't he?
I think he's his own. Like personally, I just
because Mbappe or who are we going to say Messi? He's technically they're probably better than Pele because they've had more training. They started at a younger age. They eat better food. They've got better physios. They've got all this stuff which John's then had that Kelly didn't have. He had more money. He was on the North Shore. His boards are better because they were 15 years later.
Well, if you want to put it like that, it's the way that I see it. With if you take it down the podcast going down a football road, the reason I think Ronaldo is better than Messi is that Ronaldo has gone from a winger who played in midfield to being like a forward, but who still played on the wing, to the best goal scorer in the world. So he's adapted. And the reason I think John is the best surfer that's ever been is because he has an incredible air game. He can throw airs as good as anybody. He is the best pipe, probably the best tube rider in the world, or there's no one better than him. Maybe he's level with some people, but he also can surf and win the Eddie Aikau, and he goes and absolutely charges the huge outer reefs and jaws and stuff.
Well, either way, he's the best at the moment because I'm not going to say he's better than Kelly. I'm taking that back for yours. You heard me take it back because I saw Kelly when he was younger, and I'm just saying if you put a 23-year-old Kelly against a 23-year-old John, Kelly's going to win.
John wins. Wow. There we go.
He was like unstoppable, Kelly. He didn't get injured. John.
Yeah, but you can't say that. That's different again. Fully fit Kelly at 23 against fully fit John at 23. John wins, in my opinion.
Let's ask the gods.
Which, yeah, please, like everybody, like jump in on it. Give me abuse.
Okay. Let's go. So let's go. Let's flip this one. If you could go on a surf trip next week, would you go with Mikey Wright or would you go with Felipe Tehilito?
I'd go with Felipe.
Huh?
Yeah, because Mikey, like the thing is, Mikey is super cool and stuff, but he's in, like, I just feel like.
So would you go with Torren or would you go with Felipe?
I think, I don't know, it's a hard one, you know. I think I'd go Felipe. He's super chilled out. So
if you could go with John or Felipe,
I'd go John.
If you could go with Medina or your favourite Italo, who would you go?
Gavi every time. The real question is, would I rather go with John or Steph?
Okay, John or Steph?
Steph.
Especially before you get married.
Well, I have no. Well, I wouldn't say no.
It's nothing to do with that.
Not attraction.
It's platonic. It's platonic.
I watch her surf and it's a form of meditating.
Is it poetry in motion?
It is. It's that and more. It's just kind of.
You watch the latest
perfect
Torren movie that I was telling you about?
Then? Yeah.
Sure. Where is that?
I actually didn't look into that.
Well, you should be.
Yeah, I should be.
Is it up there? Can you hear this then? When in our thing?
I can only hear you speaking.
Oh, that's the music. Only I can hear it then. That's his soundtrack. There's a lot of wind there, man.
Yeah, it's called Distant Shores.
Cold.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks a cold location. A couple of people, I think a couple of clips, Thurso in Scotland. I don't know if the whole thing's in Scotland, but yeah. So
who's the next? Tonight's, we're loose. For our listeners, we've got about 6 guests that we're waiting to get back to us. And because they're just all superstars, they just don't care about us. So honestly, we don't care about them.
So it's an opinion episode. But,
so that's why we're flipping it around.
So you was going to say, who's the next?
Who's the next? Felipe, John, Italo, Kelly, Mick, Joel, Taj, Oki, Tom Carroll.
Oh, wow.
Who's the next? Because there isn't one, is there?
I really I don't know if he counts as the next because he's kind of older than you'd say, like a prodigy or whatever. But I really like Mateus Hurdy. I think he is sick.
Yeah, nah.
But I think he's obviously older. Obviously, you had the Quicksilver.
I think he's really good too, but I don't think he's in their caliber.
You had the Quicksilver Young Guns with you last October.
Yeah, it was there.
Was there any? Yeah, he was there, obviously. But with the younger crew, because obviously he's one of the older ones of that crew. Was there anyone that stood out to you?
Well, it was pretty hard for me to judge on that, Matt, because I hurt my knee, and out of personal protest of not watching waves that you can't surf, I didn't go and watch. From what I heard, your
name is in the title. Your name's in the
I watched
credits.
the video. I watched the video. I didn't watch them live. I went up to the dunes one day and watched, and Joel Vaughan did a sick punt on a little 3-foot ride. It was a sick punt. He landed it, and I thought, that was Joel, and I'd never seen him surf. And then I said to him, "Hey, did you do that?" And he told me it was him. But from the photographers and everyone, he's throwing this one at you. The guy that stood out was Kauli Vaast.
Oh, yeah.
Such a pity that he's not getting any results because he's mad, man. He can surf 12-foot chopes really good and 3-foot lumpy French beach breaks really good. And I thought he was a shoo-in for the world title. That's what the Frenchies were saying. He was the next European going to be on, but we won't see until the end of this year because he he doubled at the end of last season.
So where's he
I thought
from?
he could have been the next big thing. Tahiti.
So if he's from Tahiti, where does he have to do his event?
Europe.
So he has to do European regionals to then get on the
Yes.
Changers.
Yes.
Far out. Okay. Well, let's hope. I'd like to see him on the Challenger Series because he is sick.
I just don't think at the moment. I think surfing's run out of next big things.
See, the guy who I really, really like surfing, who is the next big thing, but he's not a comp side of it, is Jai Glindeman. That's someone I could watch.
Sick.
I think he is
so
sick.
Beautiful surf.
Yeah, he is like legit fucking world class. But at the same time, he'd get torn apart in a heat.
Yeah. And like Mick won Bells as a wild card, he wasn't even 20 yet. Parko won Jay Glindeman. And at the time, man, there were good surfers. It's not like there wasn't as many good surfers as there are now. It's kind of harder to, you know, like if you go for a surf like today, and it's the 10th of April down here, it was cold, it was offshore. There's people from one end of the beach to the other, and I had 14 Austrians in the house and 2 German girls, and all of them were down there on their softboards too, just only in the gutter, but like you wouldn't have got that on the 10th of April 10 years ago.
No.
And this dude I saw in the surf, I'm not going to name his name because he told me he voted for Marine Le Pen, who's extreme right here, and she's just got to the second leg of the national election against Macron. That dude said he just got back from the Maldives, and he said it was unbelievable how many people were there.
Really?
Surfing is popular.
And
if you didn't already know it.
It's funny, actually, because in England, it's actually been the opposite. The surf that I surfed in this weekend, last year we had almost identical surf, and there was probably 200 people.
Yeah, I'm calling the same here. Like today was a bit different because it was a Sunday, it was sunny, it was hot and everything. But the crowds are down from last year for sure. Yeah.
But okay, so with that, like a bit of a loose kind of link into what you're saying, because although naming a guy kind of next rising star kind of thing,
girls is a lot easier.
Yeah, because obviously Katie Simmers, I'm a bit disappointed. Well, I'm not disappointed. I can't say I'm disappointed, but like when she didn't go to the WSL, and which I was fully backed, I was kind of hoping it meant that we was going to see some more free surfing from her, but I've hardly seen a thing.
No, she's just been a kid, and look,
which is amazing. But
look what happened so far to Betty Lou Sakara. She's going to get knocked off, isn't she? At the mid-season cup?
I reckon she's making it. I reckon she's a dark horse for Bells. Actually, if it's 3 foot and winky, I reckon Betty Lou could hammer some people. But what my question was going to be is, how do you think that like in 2 or 3 years' time, that kind of the whole stab ladybirds thing will then just be the WSL tour?
I just think that female surfing had so much more room for improvement than men's, because even 10 years ago, like young kids were getting heaps of bucks, so they were going to everywhere in the world to get better. And I don't think that's happening now. Like when Leo was 11 or 12, he got sent to G-Land for 2 weeks straight. Now, there's a little bit of that going on with Americans, because I guess they get to go to Hawaii because it's part of their country. But the last 2 years, for example, if you were a super grommet, you weren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's where your increments of improvement come, because like Belly's right-hand man, Quicksilver, Thomas Porte said to me back in the day, because there was this young ripper that did our work experience with us, and he was the same age as Leo. And I said, how the F has he got a chance against Leo, who's just come back from like G-Land. 2 weeks in the Mentawais he went at a time, 2-3 weeks in the Mentawais, and then they're surfing Le Gravier, right, which is a hell barreling. Leo's just come from 2 weeks every day, taken off over dry reef on hell barrels. So how's a local kid, no matter how good he is, you can't stick up against them.
No, plus also it's about, there's a little bit, I think, in how who Leo's with on those trips as well, because
He
would
they're
have
surfing
been,
with better dudes. They get coached,
Yeah.
and like not even coached. They're just surfing with better dudes, which is
Yeah.
self-coaching.
and older people. It's like when I was younger, I was forced to play, like, to make myself improve. I was
You
playing
didn't
men's.
like what?
I was playing men's
You didn't like.
cricket.
Oh, I thought you
No.
just got forced to play by your parents because you
No,
didn't
no,
like playing.
I was thrown in to play men's cricket. Like, I was 11, and I played for my brother's team, which was under 15s, and I was also then going to play men's cricket with, like, and they didn't hold back. But then by the time I was 15,
Were you good? Were you good with the bat and ball?
very
Batter or bowler?
both. I was an all-rounder. I was county level. Like, I played county level and stuff.
So there you go. We never knew that about you, Matt.
Yeah, boy. One of my good friends growing up, and his dad was my coach. His name's Ollie Robinson. He plays for England.
Old Ollie Rob.
Yeah, Ollie Rob. But
did you
I
shed a
digress.
tear for Shane Warne or what?
I was very sad. Shane was absolute icon.
Oh, you call him
hero.
You call him Shane. You just call him Shane.
I just call him Shane. Yeah. No, what absolute, like, that was devastating at 52. It's mind-boggling. Literally a week before, I'd watched the Amazon series, the TV film about him, and then just madness.
He can spin a ball. Hey, on a different note, I've saved Kauli in my team.
There we go. He's decided. He's locked it in. Watch him absolutely flop now. But what?
Still got time to get him out of there.
What I was going to say about women's surfing, though, and this is a long loop back to it, I personally think their tour needs to be bigger. Do you?
More girls?
Yeah.
More. Yeah. It's a little bit weird. And on top of that, like what I was saying, why did I say they got so much more room for improvement? Because there's so many more girls surfing. And like last year in our surf houses, there's so many more girls. There was more, not even just more girls than before. There's more girls than guys coming because they're so adventurous and they're into surfing. It's something that they can get into where maybe these days guys are like thinking, it was just a fad and I'll get back to the million other different sports that they couldn't do for a while.
Yeah.
So they'll put surfing on the side.
And I think that the women's tour needs to be bigger, and I think that that's 100% valid. There's definitely more girls out in the lineup, and there should be as well. Like a couple of people I've surfed with here, absolutely rip. And
if you were sponsoring, you'd think, what? I'd rather us put a bit more money into that because that's where my potential customers are.
Yeah, absolutely. And to think, like, back to the tour slightly, like to think that the mid-year cut, which, like I said, I'm so against, if you're not in the top 10 in the world, you're off. So you have to pay and you have to do all of the work you've done to get on tour. And if you're not in the top 10, you're off tour and you're having to do the Challenger Series again. And I just think it's mind-blowing that there's 36 men and 18 women. I think it's just, I don't know. I don't really get how.
She's 14th, man. She's out. Isabel Nichols is out. Loena Silva, out. Molly Picklum, out. Stephanie Gilmore, out. Courtney Collock, out. Sully Fitzgibbons, out.
Yeah.
And even more interesting than that, Matt, listen to this one. It's €929 for a Hayden Shapes Step Up Crypto. Hypto Crypto Step Up Future Flex. And €4. This is online from Surf Dome for a block of Mr. Palmer's. What's the surfing world come to?
Yeah, but you do know that if you contact Surf Dome, you're obviously going to get incredible surf knowledge from whoever's helping you out because they all surf in. I mean,
is that board worth $929? Because it's got 5 fins, But his other crappy Holy Grail or whoever ever got that is worth, oh no, it's 957.
Yeah, it's all shit. Obviously, they're the type of boys
You'd have to be off your fucking rocket to put 957 euro into a step up.
No, you got
Hayden Flex epoxy that's got no stringer down the middle. Okay, viewers, don't buy one of these things. Sorry, Hayden, but like you don't put 930 euro into your step up board if it's got no stringer. Just think about it. Unless for you a step up means you're going to surf 3 foot onshore slop instead of 1 foot onshore slop.
Yeah,
we'll leave it at that, and we'll get back to the conversation we were talking about. Sorry, mate. It was because I got sideswiped by the fucking Google ads on the side of Magic Seaweed Surf Report for bells.
And it's because they're Magic Seaweed and Surf Dome are one and the same thing, and that's why. Probably why Magic Seaweed's forecasts are so shit as well. Because
we'll get a chance to look at that because they're calling bells next week 6 to 9 foot or something like that. So there you go. Listen, if you're going to watch Magic Seaweed, let's just see how they're right. They're calling tomorrow, which is in Australia today. Tomorrow afternoon, they're calling 5 to 8 foot bells. Let's see if it is. Let's just see if it is. And if it's not, let's take them to court.
But do you not so this is the only good thing about Magic Seaweed is that you can go somewhere and surf a 2 foot wave. Yeah.
And say to people you surfed an 8 foot wave.
Yeah. Yeah. You've like, I've just surfed 8 foot. I'm gonna put that on my CV. I can surf 8 foot waves as long as Magic Seaweed are doing it.
Oh, it fucking killed me somewhere when I went. I'm telling you, it killed me. Where was it? Galapagos. And there was this insane left, which got to go through the military camp. You got to go. You give them your passport. This place is incredible. So you give them your passport, right? You go past these military dudes. You give them your passport. You walk through the military camp, and then you walk all the way around this point because Magic Seaweed was telling me this left-hander was going to be 4 foot. Now, I walked through. It was an hour walk from my hotel because you can't take a car or anything. And I got round to the point, and it was 2 foot and perfect little lefts, but breaking right on dry reef. And across the bay, I could see the right that I wanted to surf 4 foot and running perfectly. So I had to walk an hour back. Listen to this one. An hour back, get back to the hotel, say g'day to me missus. Obviously, then I had to go to the other side of the island, not the right-hander, to this other beach because I promised, look, I'm going for an early round surf, and then when I get back, we'll go family to the beach. So Magic Seaweed fucked me.
Yeah, they are not great, but
they'll sell you a step up epoxy with no stringer down the middle for 940 euros. What
was hilarious was some
dickhead's going to buy it.
The weekend that the first weekend you were in Hawaii, I looked at the forecast for sunset, and you were there, and you told me it was like 6 to 8 foot sunset. Sent me some photos, and it was solid. And then I went on Magic Seaweed, and there was just this wind swell coming through East Wittering on the south coast of the UK, and it was telling me it was 7 to 12 foot. And I was like, this is hilarious that apparently East Wittering is bigger than Sunset that weekend, which is classic Magic Seaweed as well.
Let's not mention their name again in this podcast tonight.
They'll be forever now known as Tragic Mislead, is their what they're like affectionately known as in most parts of the UK, which is good.
So basically, I'm calling tonight is I still think Toledo's going to win bells. I think Tyron Martin's still dropping the best clips, and I'm going to watch Mikey Wright's latest clip because I haven't seen anything else on the radar. A hip dive, fucking crypto without a string, a step up. It's the most funniest thing I've ever heard of. And now I want to hear you do's and don'ts, mate.
So I'm gonna double up on the don't. Don't buy a stringless Hayden Shapes box. You step up from Surf Dome.
Oh, we can laugh at that.
No, but my real do's and don'ts. Okay, so my don't, is a bit of a question as well as a don't. So my don't is, like, if you're surfing without booties but in a wetsuit, I would say I don't put my leash underneath my, like, you put it on your ankle and then fold your wetsuit over. But I've seen loads of people do that. Mick Fanning is one of the people that do it, but I find it super uncomfortable. So I would say don't do it. But I know that
I would say I've never done it,
which is weird. Yeah, and Mick Fanning is a huge, like, always does it, and I think I've seen like Philippe and other people do it. I think that's why I tried it, because I was like, oh yeah.
Potentially that's why we're not on the CT. We just didn't know that.
It just digs in.
It just sounds stupid.
It's not comfortable. It just digs in. So it's a don't for me.
And it's just leaving the bottom of your wetsuit open for more water to go in.
Yeah, that did happen, and I changed. And then
they're not cold water surfers, mate. They're board short surfers.
Melts. My do is a mainly a do, but slight part don't, is do use base coat on your wax job, but don't use too much, because if you do your wax job and you can see, like, if you're crisscross, like underneath, which I generally crisscross it to get a good base coat, like grip. If your crisscross is like super prominent, then you've used too much. So, and a good wax job is very important. So I would say use base coat, but not too much.
It's quite funny, Matt, because I waxed up a brand newie today at lunch in between talking to Austrians, and my board's got, I think you know what colour deck grip it's got.
It's got a vile white deck grip. For anyone
a white with a carbon, I'm not going to name the brand, so carbon inlay underneath the pad, which tell me what that potentially would be for.
To put the price up. No, obviously it gives it a bit more strength and flex.
There you go. It doesn't. It's impossible, because if the carbon's not under the glass, it's not giving any more power at all. Oh, what's another? That's fucking, you could put that stupid wanker fucking carbon grip on your hip toe crypto and add an extra $60 to already the $935 you've lost. How about a 6 foot day and lose 980 euros on your first wave?
And everyone's respect.
But I think I used, it wasn't a base coat, but I think it was like a tropical.
Same thing.
And then Terry from the surf shop next door gave me organic block wax. It seemed to go right. But the board went good. The waves were strange, but I was on 6'2". I felt really weird. I felt status quo,
which is kind of cool. What are your do's and don'ts?
Do always have fresh wax if you got a new board.
Oh, that's a rule. That literally should be law.
Brand new. It'd be good to have. Obviously, you know, if you want to be full fucking kook, which is kind of what you want to be, you want to have a base coat and the proper water temperature wax ready to go.
Yeah.
And don't put too much faith in forecast, because today was supposed to be perfect, man. It was 4 foot and offshore, and it was straight. The banks for some reason have disappeared. I don't know. It was just haggis, and like you just go, you have height, you have the amp, and then you walk up to check and you go, why? As opposed to when it's not supposed to be good and it is good, and how unreal is that?
That's a good don't know. Don't have, like, in a way you'd flip that to don't have too high of expectations of the surf, and then if you're always got a lower expectation, then you're gonna never be disappointed.
Or basically don't have too many high expectations in life, which is what I probably Which is probably what I should have been
basically
doing
everyone
for
quit
the
your job.
past 49 and a half years.
Yeah, everyone just quit your job, sign on to the dole, and just
Just wake up.
surf when you can.
Don't even watch the news.
Save up your dole money, buy a stringerless step up.
I don't think if you've got no job that you're going to be buying a stringless step up. And I'm telling you, okay, let's go back. I don't call him. He's my spirit animal, Torren Martin, because he pulls out in his
triple stringer, and he snaps.
No, Snipples. Yeah, he's riding hell serious waves. How long do you reckon?
Stringerless Hayden.
Come on. I'm gonna send that link to Bradley. That's always good.
Yeah, do it from all on because I want to see his reply because he is the best at single word replies.
Yeah, but how are we going to be able to do it on Instagram? Can you do a cut and paste?
Oh no, you'd have to
for a link
screenshot it or something. Yeah, bit long, but
I'll try and do it. I'll try and do it. He'll be on it. Okay, I'm done.
That's
done.
a wrap for tonight, guys.
I've had enough surface.
We might bring you a special show next week where we're together.
Or we might even get a guest one day. Oh, viewers, listen to this one.
Next week, though, we might have a mullet and a mohawk between us.
And she could end up on the podcast, but there's this girl who's kind of like a bit of a model. She actually is a professional model and a good longboarder. And I said, "Do you want to go on the podcast?" And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "What? Do you even answer your Instagram things if I send you the code?" She said, "Oh yeah, there's a mail on there." The mail was for her agent. And then he said, "Yeah, let's connect." Like, that there's never going to be ever any discussion if someone says to you, "Let's connect." I didn't connect with him.
Nah.
How do you do let's connect? What does that mean? Connect.
I don't know.
What did you say to this, Matt? It's just a fucking chat about surfing, isn't it?
Exactly.
Viewers, that's all we want to do is talk about surfing. If you ever hear us talking about politics, hang up.
Unless we're talking about a politician riding a stringless epoxy.
It could happen. It could happen.
That's all for tonight, folks. We'll be back with more weirdness. We love you all.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.